Hi, darling.
Hi, honey.
Promise I'm not going to scratch my mosquito bites on my head.
You're so silly. Do you feel like Stewie's interviewing you right now?
You know, people don't really understand what Stewie is.
My imaginary friend.
Stewie is Sharon's dog, who is her little Shih Tzu sitting on her lap, but that could have actually been a real person, you know. Anyway, I was hoping we could talk just for a minute about some common questions we get about certification and accreditation.
Okay.
Okay. Periodically, actually reasonably frequently, someone will ask me, is certification legally required to practice as a coach? Do I really need to be certified? And I will straight up tell them, no, you don't need to do that. There's no law that says you need to be certified. There are laws that say that you need to be able to prove competence for any service that you offer the public.
In some states, not in all states.
I'm not an attorney, so you need to check this for yourself. But I believe in all states, my understanding is that in all states, there are laws that say it's fraud to present a service to the public if you can't prove that you have competence in that service. Getting trained and certified by a credible organization is one way that you can prove that.
That you have competence.
I prefer that people come to us for competence rather than legal documentation. I really think that's what we offer. But that's the answer to the question, that certification is really not legally required by the government at this time. Of any government in any country that we've been able to find in the coaching industry, it's not.
Which is different than being a psychologist, where that is a licensed...
That's a licensed and regulated term.
Yes.
You get in a lot of trouble if you hold yourself out as a psychologist and you don't have a license, or a medical doctor or a psychiatrist or
a lawyer.
Yeah, social worker. You can get in trouble if you use a regulated licensed term without having that license. There is no coaching license. It just doesn't exist.
Right.
The other thing about certification is that it's actually pretty rare that clients ask about it. It helps coaches to feel more secure to have a certificate on their wall, be able to say I'm a certified professional coach, and to be able to point to a highly credentialed organization if anybody happens to ask. I think we're a good organization for that. We've got a fairly large board of people who
are highly experienced.
And they went to Harvard and Yale and Stanford and Princeton and those kind of places. So they really are quality assurance, and it's impressive. If you look at our board page, it's kind of impressive.
I'll have to check it out.
You should. You're on it. So you should. So you should. And we've had a lot of experience in the corporate world also, and so we've got a lot of well-known, recognized names that are associated with it. So people are comfortable with that. I don't think that's the reason to work with us, but some people really want that.
It's a nice place to send people to, well, where'd you get your certification? Well, check out this organization.
Coach Certification Academy, right.
They've got incredible credentials, right.
Now, the other question we get is, are you accredited by the International Coaching Federation? And are you going to be accredited by the International Coaching Federation? Although we have nothing against the International Coaching Federation, I tell people that if that's really important to them, they should go someplace else.
Right.
I asked them if they'll give me a minute to explain, but we are likely not going to go down that road. Here's why. There are no government bodies that license the International Coaching Federation or any other coach accreditation. There's no government body that is behind that. They don't derive their power from any government or agency like that. There are no laws that grant them their power. They're just a big organization that decided that they were going to put together a set of guidelines and ethics and quality standards for coach training organizations. And they're actually reasonably good. I actually respect them. The reason that we're not going down that road is because we actually have a lot more experience than a lot of the people who would be evaluating us.
Right.
They have a multi-year set of criteria. You have to train with people who are already evaluated, and we've worked with thousands of people. And if you look at becomearealcoach.com and you kind of look at our experience and you look at the quality of our board, if the purpose of accreditation is really just quality assurance of the training, we have a pretty large board that's agreed to be responsible for that and to look into what we're doing. And so I think we're covered. I think that anybody would ever ask would say, hey, these guys are covered. They're really doing a good job. But if it's particularly important to you to be associated with the ICF, then this is not the training program for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I actually try to make sure that those 2 points are really clear before anybody orders. And usually what they say is, oh, well, now I'm even more interested in working with you because you really laid it out straight for me. And I know that some of those points might be against your self-interest, but I don't want anybody who is really obsessed with getting that accreditation. I don't want them to come through and then be mad at us 2 years later that we don't do it. So I try to make that clear. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If the issue is that you want to be trained and be certified by an ethical organization, this probably sounds very self-serving. I know that we deliver a really wonderful product.
We do. Okay, then.
Well, thanks.
Thanks. In just 12 weeks, you can become a certified professional coach, confident in your ability and fully equipped to grow a thriving practice from anywhere or your money back. My name is Dr. Glenn Livingston, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about taking your coaching dreams a lot more seriously, about getting the right certification and training, and about developing the confidence to deliver stellar results time after time so your clients will accomplish their goals, others will notice, and get referred back to you. I'll hope you forgive my modesty while we talk, because my wife and I have more combined experience in both coaching and business development than virtually any other program on the market. I've personally worked with over 1,000 clients and supervised dozens of coaches and therapists, sharing some literally thousands of groups and team-building workshops. And together we've sold more than $20 million in consulting. We've had our previous work, research, and theories covered in major media like the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, the Chicago Sun-Times, ABC and CBS Radio, the Wall Street Journal, New York Daily News, and many more. So we have the confidence in our ability to train and certify you as a coach and give you the know-how to build the practice of your dreams. In fact, we're so confident, we're willing to guarantee it right through the end of the very last class. If you don't feel our training was your best choice for any reason, just show us you attended at least 3/4 of the classes and did at least 75% of the assignments. We will refund every penny that you paid. When you compare our experience, guarantee, and more affordable than most pricing, we think your choice will be clear. But if you're like most coaches, you're probably a little skeptical, maybe a lot. You see a lot of limitations and obstacles, and I'd like to talk about them with you because most of them are self-imposed. For example, you might think it's not really possible to earn a living as a professional coach. Maybe you think there's too much competition. But did you know that as of this recording, there were only about 20,000 active coaches in North America? That's less than one coach for every 15,000 people. Of course, not every one of those 15,000 people is in the market for a coach, but coaching has become ever more acceptable and interesting thanks to reality shows like The Biggest Loser, The Voice, dancing shows, singing shows, et cetera, et cetera. Every one of the contestants gets a coach, and the audience gets to see the value firsthand as they progress. More importantly, most coaches ignore the immense value of niching. There's literally hundreds of coaching niches to choose from, and when you do niche, you dramatically lower your competition and raise your odds of success. For example, where there may be 20,000 active coaches overall in North America, how many adoption coaches do you think there are? What about coaches who specialize in chocolate addiction? By the way, I could use one of those. Family business, academic achievement, and you don't have to marry any of these niches either. You just try one on size, learn the skills, and transfer them to whatever suits your fancy later on. But here's another self-imposed limitation. Many people think it's simply not possible to earn a living as a coach. Well, you can visit becomearealcoach.com to see detailed studies which suggest the average active coach earns about $55,000 per year. Of course, there are coaches who make a lot more and coaches who make a lot less. And it would be unreasonable to assume just getting certified will automatically give you this income. Your income as a coach will depend upon many things, including the niche you choose. For example, working with affluent couples to help them adopt is likely to be more lucrative than helping disabled veterans adjust to life at home. Not any more meaningful, fulfilling, or soulful, but definitely more profitable. The environment you work in will also influence your income. Private practice versus a salaried employee, etc. The number of hours you choose to fill. Nobody says you have to work full time. The fees that you're comfortable charging. There's a lot of coaches out there that don't want to charge as much as they really could charge. The business model that you choose. In other words, individual coaching versus selling books, tapes, seminars, groups, and events for more leveraged and passive income. The seriousness of the problem that you specialize in. How desperate are your clients to solve it? How meaningful and valuable is the solution? For example, it's easier to earn more as an adoption coach than a yoga coach for this very reason. And your income also depends upon how much effort you put into attracting clients. But most importantly, in our experience, your income is related to your coaching confidence and ability to produce stellar results for your clients. Or maybe the obstacle stopping you from taking your coaching dreams to the next level is wondering whether you need a professional background in therapy or counseling. But you don't, because coaching isn't therapy. So you won't get involved in diagnosing, treating, or curing any type of mental illness. And we'll teach you how to clearly draw the line and skillfully refer clients who require a licensed professional. When in doubt, refer it out is our motto. Coincidentally, many of these professionals who you refer to can become a good resource of referrals back into your network. Maybe you're not sure if you're worthy of coaching. Maybe you think you don't have enough experience, or you're just not credible enough to coach people professionally, or that you don't have the expertise. When people tell me this, I tell them that they're asking the wrong question. You see, if you're willing to put your heart and soul into helping someone, if you're willing to give them your undivided attention on a regular or semi-regular basis until they reach their goal, if you're willing to make them a priority in your life in exchange for a reasonable payment, then the real question is, you should be asking, are these clients worthy of me? Because you see, you've only got a limited amount of time, energy, and love to give these people, so you've got to protect your practice. The real question is, are they worthy of you? Maybe you don't think you have the time to become a certified professional coach, but If you can make 4 or 5 hours a week, which is under an hour a day, for just a few months, you can definitely become a certified professional coach in our program. And there are many, many ways to start a coaching practice on a part-time schedule. We know most coaches have very busy lives even before they begin. And because we actually like coaches who are out there living real lives, we work hard to accommodate them. Coaching is more about experience and the desire to share and spare than it is about book knowledge. Maybe you think you can't afford it. But our program is much more affordable than most other live interactive certification programs, and we've got financing options to suit any budget. Besides, coaching is one of the least expensive businesses to start because you can work with people all over the world via telephone, Skype, and the internet. So there's really no need for office space, rent, or other overhead. And we'll show you how to make a safe transition plan so you can carefully plan your move from another job with a great deal of confidence when the time is right. Because you are the product, this is another reason why coaching is easier to get into and less expensive, because you are the product, many of the traditional costs associated with starting a business like inventory or research and development, production cost, they just simply disappear. So, at the risk of appearing self-serving, a better question than, can you really afford to do this is, can you really afford not to do it? Finally, perhaps you think you're going to be a great coach, but you're too allergic to marketing to do anything about it. And if you feel this way, it's likely because you've been taught the wrong things about marketing. You're probably thinking of used car salesmen, cold calling, constant rejection, and constant lies. And nobody's taken the time to find out what marketing methods really suit your personality. Remember, Sharon and I have more combined experience in both coaching and business development than virtually any other certification program on the market. That means we've got the flexibility to help virtually any coach who wants it bad enough. You can check out our website at becomearealcoach.com for more details about our personal biographies. But for now, just trust me when I say if you don't like public speaking, there's no problem. If you hate making cold calls, there's no problem. If you can't even stand the idea of making a website, there's no problem because we'll show you how to market in a way that's comfortable for you. Now, by this point, you may actually be wondering what happens in the certification program itself. Again, you can visit becomearealcoach.com to read the details, but in a nutshell, our program is largely about the experience of being a coach and not the academic. Each week, you'll meet live with your instructor and your peers and have the experience of practicing that week's coaching or business development lesson with everybody in the group. You'll get detailed feedback from your master coach instructor, and you'll get additional feedback from your peers. And here's an important benefit most people don't think of. You'll get a chance to observe and learn from the other coaches in training. Then, after each event, you'll download a brief set of materials which prepare you for the following week and include an action challenge. So in short, first you practice with your peers, then you watch, read, or listen to us describe what you just experienced, and finally you do it on your own outside of class so you can integrate the learning. Practice, study, then do. It's really that simple in less than an hour a day. There's quite a bit more to know, so you'll want to visit becomearealcoach.com as soon as you can. But the most important thing to remember is that in just 12 weeks, you really can become a certified professional coach, confident in your ability, and fully equipped to grow a thriving practice from anywhere or your money back. Head on over to becomearealcoach.com now. Classes fill quickly, so please book your slot today if you're at all interested. Thanks.